Okie dokie, ho ho! Let's go!
Hey guys, Richard here and welcome back to another video. Today I'm doing a video on all my Game Boy consoles, but before I begin, there's something really important I need to do, and that is give a shout out to Dan the Games Man. That is because he is my favourite YouTuber, and also he gave my channel a mention on his community page on his channel. So I really appreciate that, Dan, thank you very much. If you haven't been to his channel, please do go over there and subscribe, just because it's brilliant. It's basically just the same as what we do here, but better probably. So yeah, go ahead and subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. But now, let's get started with the Game Boys. So first of all, I'm going to get all of the unboxed consoles done. Then I'll do the box stuff. By the way, I don't know if I said this is just consoles, no games. All my games are still up here and stuff. Just the consoles. So the first one, this is the worst one. It's actually broken. And that is this terrible condition original Game Boy. As you can see, the screen surround is missing. The actual, like, I can actually touch the green screen. That's missing. It's all faded. It's corroded inside. But this was like £1 a car boot years ago. So yeah, I couldn't pass it up. It was just in a massive box. So yeah, £1 at the car boot years ago. A sort of thing I thought about modding it or getting like a reshell done on it, but just haven't got around to it. The next one is a Game Boy Color console. Now this one was a really good car boot purchase. It's on my channel. I didn't actually film it because I don't film at the car boots, but I told you about it. It's called Game Boy and Pokemon at the car boot. This was laying on the floor, and inside it, Pokemon Silver there was, which is just, wow, tenner, the person said. Now, it did actually have batteries in at the time, but wouldn't turn on, so I thought it was broken, but it's worth it for Pokemon Silver. So I traded the Pokemon Silver at CEX, so I don't like Pokemon, and kept this, and it works absolutely fine, and this is now my primary Game Boy Color console. I do actually have another Game Boy Color console unboxed, and that is this one, and this one's got the coolest story behind it. My grandparents help at their local church and do like tombolas and stuff, and my grandma sometimes lets me look through like the bric-a-brac stuff before it goes out, and this was sitting in there. Bearing in mind I was like 5 or 6 at the time, so I didn't even particularly know what it was. I just thought, I knew what Nintendo and Game Boy was, but I didn't know it was particularly how cool it actually was. But yeah, this has just been in my collection for years ever since. I think I threw a tenner in for the bric-a-brac, and yeah, I just can't. It makes me smile every time I say about it, because it's just such a good memory finding this with my grandparents. The next console is a purple Game Boy Advance. Now this doesn't have a back and it's not in the best condition. Does work absolutely fine, but this was again a car boot purchase find for a £5. This was, oh my god, I was quite young at the time. I think my dad found it. And yeah, I just couldn't believe we found a Game Boy Advance at the car boot. It was just like, it was on a stall where you see, so it's all antiques and stuff, and this was just sitting there. And I was holding it, and I could see like people behind me were like, "Oh, you've just picked it up before me." Yeah, they were really cross, but yeah, got that for a £5, so I was really pleased. Now the next two consoles, one of them's unboxed, so it's the last of the unboxed ones. We'll get into the box ones in a minute. But it's kind of a Game Boy system, and that is the SNES Super Game Boy. Now this does actually have the user book with it. I forgot, I should have got it before the video really, but yeah, this was really cool. I bought this from CEX, and I do use it all the time. You can basically play Game Boy games on your TV, and I don't know how, but it even puts some of them in colour. I think it puts Tetris in colour, which is really cool. Now we're moving on to the boxed Game Boy systems, and the first one is kind of a Game Boy system, and that is the boxed GameCube Game Boy Player. Now this is really cool. This was a CEX purchase. Obviously, they don't specify that you get it in the box, so my mum and dad bought it for me for my birthday present. No, last Christmas present. And yeah, this is really cool. Again, I use this pretty often. Came with a disc, obviously, so you need to have that. And yeah, you just plug it into the bottom of your GameCube, as you can see here. And you can play Game Boy, Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance games on your TV, which is absolutely awesome and really fun to play on. So now we're starting with Game Boy consoles, and these ones are all boxed. So I'll try and go in chronological order as much as I can. So the first one we have is the original Game Boy in the box. Now this is the Tetris bundle version, and this was a CEX lottery I did years ago before I had a channel. And this, as you can see, is insanely good condition. I don't understand how lucky we actually got with this. All of the boxed consoles I'm going to show you, the consoles are actually in the boxes, because I just played the unboxed ones. But yeah, this is all in the box, all of its paperwork, even the, on the back, it comes with the earphones, even the earphones that come with it are actually still sealed, which is mad. But yeah, that's really cool, and very grateful to whoever traded this in to CEX. The next box console I have for the Game Boy line is this Game Boy Pocket. Now shout out to Scott over at Retro Realm. My parents actually bought this for me at Retro Realm for my birthday present a few years back. This is really cool to have. This is the black one, so it's not very common. And there's actually 0 of these in stock CEX at the time of recording this, which is really cool. It has Tetris and Donkey Kong Land advertised on the back. And I really like how this is a much smaller Game Boy system, so easier to carry around. But I love the box art with all like the industrial sort of motherboard stuff in the background. I think it's absolutely awesome. And a really good addition to my Game Boy collection. Next up, we have my only boxed Game Boy Color, and that is the Grape Game Boy Color. Now, in Ipswich, they have a cash exchange, it's called, the pawn shop there. I filmed there before on my channel, go and check it out if you haven't already. And yeah, this was in there for unboxed price, which I don't understand why it was unboxed price. The console's in fine condition, the box is really good condition. So yeah, no idea why this was unboxed price, but I was very excited to find it. I actually traded in a high-value PS1 game to help me get this, which was really cool. So yeah, I was really pleased to find this for unboxed price. Next up, we have another console, and that is the see-through purpley colour Game Boy Advance system. Now this one I did on the cheap, so I bought the console from a cash converters, quite cheap, unboxed, and bought the box only on eBay. Now, this box only was actually only £15, and I think that's really good as it comes with all of its user manuals. The only damage is this rip on the side, which is really unfortunate. But yeah, the front of the box, which is what you see in this sort of side, is really, really good condition for a console that came out, what, 2003, 2004? So yeah, I was really pleased to get this. Piecing it together for unboxed console and a separate box was a much cheaper way of doing it, and I highly recommend that if you're getting high value games or consoles to add to your collection. The next one we have is a Game Boy Advance SP console, and this box is in absolutely insanely good condition. I understand, like, I reckon a collector trade this in. This was from Retro Retreat in, where's that, Kings Lynn. So I was really pleased to get that from there. Really good deal they done on it for me. And as you can see, I'm going to say it again, this box, I don't understand how it's in this good a condition. But yes, this was with Christmas money years ago, and I was really pleased to add this to my collection from the Retro Retreat. If you haven't been already, I've recorded there on my channel before, so go and check that out. Yeah, really, really good gaming shop. One of the best in my sort of area, I'd say. So yeah, go and check that out if you haven't already. And the last Game Boy we have is my rarest Game Boy, and that is the Game Boy Micro in the box. Now, this was a CEX purchase again with some vouchers I had saved up. This was quite a while ago, and this is a CEX lottery when it came. And as you can see, the box, it's got some damage there, but I would say I got pretty lucky with this. The console inside is in absolutely mint condition with all of its manuals and everything. Now, the reason this is so rare is this was released in 2005, and the DS was released in 2004. So obviously not many people were wanting to buy a Game Boy Advance system, essentially, when the DS was already out. So that's why this is really rare, if you didn't know. And I'm really pleased to add this to my collection, as you hardly ever see these. Silver is the most common colour, and I'd say the green one is like the most expensive and hard to get hold of. But yeah, this is my last box console. Hope to have more in the future. But now, I'm going to say goodbye to you all. So thank you for watching this video on my boxed Game Boy consoles. Again, also thank you to Dan the Games Man for giving me a mention on his channel. It's actually gave me 10 subscribers, which, you know, for most channels that's like nothing, but for me that means so much, so thank you all so much. But yeah, thank you for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!